LIV Tour is not going anywhere. Because as I'm watching this unfold, I am sitting around thinking, okay, they tell the players who are going to go to the LIV Tour, take your tour card, rip it up, you're never getting it back.
Right.
Okay? And so the one way to combat that is by also telling these players you're not coming back, and you're going to be coming back real soon because the LIV Tour Saudis are just going to be done with whatever joyride they're having, and that's it. But this doesn't sound like they're going to stop anytime soon. They've got a bottomless pit of money. They're not concerned about profit margin. There's a commissioner of the LIV Tour that has got an axe that he's been grinding for decades, and he's now finally got the figurative hammer to go along with that grinding axe. They've got top-notch players. It looks like Cameron Smith is absolutely going to join them. Him joining, as Alan Shipnuck points out, puts the Royal and Ancient in a very difficult spot, because if they come in and join the PGA Tour by saying, anybody that joins the LIV Tour, you're not even welcome at the majors anymore. So what? Now there's no defending champion at your next spot next year?
And open winners have basically a lifetime exemption.
Right. Yep. So you can't, that's not going to be an avenue for you to close off. The only avenue left is to tell these guys, hey, you're not going to come back ever, and they're going to leave you in a lurch 2 years from now when they're just done. Because if they get a significant streaming partner, then it's going to be in front of you, and then the PGA Tour better make a deal with these guys. And you know how I felt about the LIV Tour from the beginning.
Yep.
And that's maybe why Tiger's on the plane right now,
right,
and trying to hold the line of anybody else leaving. And also to cut a deal? Is that what it's for? I don't know what the stances are, but they are all over the map. And I do understand that there's no union that will collectively address the matters. But when you've got the Blue Bloods who have got, hundreds of millions already in the bank and saying, I'm taking the moral high ground standard of the PGA Tour, and then you got friends like our friend Mark Hubbard, who likes what the PGA Tour delivers in terms of child care. You've got two different types of golfers of interest back here on our terrestrial radio outfit, kind of unpacking what Alan Shipnuck just said. So the PGA Tour players are not going to find consensus in that room, no matter what Tiger Woods is going to be saying, when you've got guys who have already made it and they're generationally wealthy right now. And then there are other guys on the tour who, as Alan Shipnuck pointed out, beat Pat Perez week in and week out. And they're seeing that Pat's making $1 million a week on the LIV Tour, growing the game, which we all know that they're not. They're going for the money, which is what the PGA Tour players want as well. Striking a deal. I don't know what the deal is. The deal might be.
What's the deal?
I don't know what the deal would be. I don't know. The deal would be that the LIV Tour gets to have their tour outside of what the PGA Tour is doing, and I'm sure the LIV Tour would say, "Yeah, we don't want to go up against the NFL, just like you don't want to." So I don't know, but if they've got the hammer by having the stars of the game and a bottomless pit of money, and they're not going anywhere, and they're expanding their tours.
But is the compromise just like they can play on our tour and they can play on their tour? Like they just happen to be mainly playing LIV, but they're also playing PGA Tour week to week whenever they feel like it. But the whole idea of guys leaving the PGA Tour to go to LIV is because they wanted to play less golf. So that's why the concept of them suing to play in other tournaments,
right,
or like those three guys and Taylor Gooch suing to play in the FedEx. Well, I thought you left to wanted to play less golf. Why are you trying to play on our tour also?
I don't know. I think they're also probably trying to be the vessels of the legal strategy that the LIV Tour is trying to employ to try and poke as many holes into the PGA Tour's
the PGA
defenses.
Tour is sinking.
Well, I don't know about sinking. I don't know if it's sinking, but it's definitely listing.
Yeah. Taking on some water.
It's right. Yeah. And so fascinating that Tiger's coming in and basically saying this is what we want to have.
Got to bring in the big guns, man.
I mean, he's the guy that can talk.
But like Alan pointed out, he's meeting with about 20 players, and you got to assume they're all heavy hitters. How does that affect the 100th ranked player in the world who's just trying to make ends meet and keep his tour card?
I don't know.
You know?
What's to prevent the Saudis from doing this with any of the sports leagues in America?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I mean, the Broncos just went for $4 billion, right? And clearly, I guess the NFL can keep out whoever they want to keep out. But
yeah, but what if the Saudis?
I mean, if they just made $48 billion in the second quarter of 2022, let's just say they'll just earmark all of that to buy. Can you not buy every Major League Baseball team for $48 billion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, don't you think?
Say probably.
I don't know. I mean, the Broncos just went for almost $5 billion, right? So there's 32 teams. You could do the math.
It was about $100 billion. We added it.
Yeah, we figured it out a while ago that Bezos could buy every NFL team and then still have 90 left over.
90 left over.
But like, let's say they start a football league, right? LIV football, and LIV doesn't have the top players in the world, but they have the 15th ranked guy. So who's like the 10th best quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, I know that it still wouldn't be a better watchable product. No, I know. I hear you. I'm just kind of pointing out.
It would lessen how good the NFL is, which what LIV has done. It's lessened how good the PGA Tour is.
By taking
that's my point.
Good players.
They could just take. What if they take the 7 best quarterbacks in the NFL to this LIV football league?
Yeah, well then it still wouldn't be a watchable product. It still wouldn't be as good as the NFL.
But the NFL would be less than what it is right now.
But at least I mean, we haven't watched many LIV tournaments, but I mean, they still have some of the best players on the planet, enough to make it look as good as any PGA Tour event that's on.
What if you have an 8-team league and suddenly you have this, 7 of the top 32 quarterbacks? Wow, that's what's happening right now. So.
Well, I guess if you don't want to see that happen, get an electric car. Get off the grid.
Get off the grid, man.